So this incredible new Kang the Conqueror figure has finally landed in my arms. This set is absolutely incredible and comes with some great accessories as well. So let's get into the video and get a closer look. Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be diving into the new Kang the Conqueror figure from Marvel Legends. So the figure itself is actually a reissue from before, but what's good for 2024 are the new accessories, especially this new awesome time chair. So let's take a closer look and see what the set has to offer. So taking a closer look at the box itself, it looks great from what you can see. Some really good and beautiful artwork throughout the box. On the back, you can see that there are a number of images of Kang himself, and as well as the accessories that it comes with, such as the different faces and his throne chart, which look absolutely amazing. Right now, on the sides, he does have some artwork that is related to him, straight from the comics. And on the top here, you get to see some nice text about him, Kang the Conqueror. And I really like the celestial star there that they've used. Here on the right side, again, it's the same as the left, same artwork used there, nothing different. But overall, this is a really nice, clean looking box, and really like that it can be displayed along with it. Now, moving on to the actual unboxing part of the video, you can see here I'll be pulling Kang and his accessories as his package right from the bottom, right? Now, what's good is, again, this is a windowless box, so it gives you an option to easily get him out fairly easily. You don't get to see him through the box, which is fine because, again, you have some beautiful artwork there on the box itself. But as you can see here, as we pull him out, he's packaged pretty well and tight so that the accessories, the actual timeshare, his weaponry and everything, as well as faces, don't actually fall off right outside the package. So it's really packaged well here, and I like how it's nice and sturdy and stacked into two different layers, right? It is fairly large because of the time charts, as you'll see here momentarily. But what we'll do is we'll move this first stack off that has Kang himself, his accessories, and a part of the chair. But what's interesting here on the bottom half of the, or second half of the package, is where the actual time chair itself resides, right? So you can see here it comes in four pieces, at least in this part of the packaging. You have the right and the left halves, and you also have sort of like the bottom base where he stands up, right? And also you do see the clear base that actually holds the chair up, right, which is good. So that comes with it and keeps it nice level for your displays. Now, moving back to the top half of the packaging, what we're going to do is pull out some of the rest of the chair related accessories, right? I believe there are four here on the top half, right? So you have the sort of back midsection of the chair, which allows Kang to sit upright. So I'll be pulling that out first here. Next, I'll be pulling out the actual bottom cushion of his chair, right? So this is the second brown piece that's really makes up the cushioning of this throne chair. There is also the blue stairs, or steps rather, that I'll be pulling out from the packaging here, as you can see. And then the last piece is sort of this clamp that will hold the actual chair together nice and tight once completed. Now, moving on to the assembly of the awesome throne chair by Kang, you can see here that it does come with, well, both halves here come together and they can connect fairly easily. But one thing to note here is that the box doesn't come with instructions, and although it's fairly easy to assemble, you just want to make sure that you actually get certain pieces in first before you start actually connecting the halves, right? So here you can see here that I'm going to put the actual back part of the cushion in first, as well as the steps, right? So that way you can get those in, and then you can connect the left and the right halves together, right? Following that, I'll take the bottom part of the cushion and I'll slide that in into the slot here, and that completes the actual cushioning part of the chair. And then kind of just squeeze the two halves together as best as I can to try and just give it that tight snug fit, right? Next we'll be doing, or rather connecting, the sort of floating base of the chair rather, to the actual frame. That way you can actually complete the chair itself, and you can see what it looks like when it's together and what it looks like when it is actually complete, right? And then also, again, it does come with the display stand. And one thing I forgot to mention and connect before, guys, is the actual time chair clamp, right? So this is used to actually keep the chair to get more snug and tightly closed, right? So you gotta just snap that on first, make sure it's nice and tight and aligned, right? Then you can connect the base of the actual chair back on, right? And it clips on nice and tighter, and then you can kind of place the actual chair on top of this display stand here, and it just connects nice and seamless. No issues there in terms of loosening between the chair. You do still have to kind of push the two halves together to make it nice and tight, right? So you're gonna give that extra force. But here you can see that, what a complete chair looks like. How it looks from the right side here, and how it's kind of the base kind of sort of accentuates itself, as well as the base of the stand, right? And here's a nice shot of the back here, left side as well. And overall, it is a great looking chair, and you still kind of have to push those two halves together, but overall it is a beautiful chair. Now moving back to the top half of the package where Kang and his accessories lie, what we'll do is we'll take a quick look as to each of the accessories that it comes with, right? So I'll be first pulling out sort of this blaster here that you can see, as well as rather some of his additional hand molds here. Right, as you can see here, I've just pulled out 3, and I'll just kind of put it on his chair. That way we can kind of take a closer look at that later in the video. Moving around the package, I'll kind of pull out his final hand mold here, which is, you can see here, this is the left sort of a grip type of hand mold. Here I'll be pulling out the blue sort of blaster effect, right? So this blaster effect is for his two-handed weapon, which we'll use later in the video. Now taking a quick look at the two different head sculpts that come with Kang, it does feature two different ones that are from his Council of Kang sort of looks, right? The green one that you just saw, and this one, I'm not even sure who this is, but in terms of its face, but it looks like that dude from Clockwork Orange. Nevertheless, we'll take a closer look at that shortly. Here I'll be pulling out the two-handed blaster accessory that he has, right? Really cool feature and look to this blaster overall, and like that actual accessory itself. Now moving to Kang himself and sort of some points about his articulation. Here I'll be trying to yank him out of the plastic here, right? You gotta kind of nudge him from the back to pop him out of plastic, which is typical of Hasbro Marvel Legends. So we're just gonna pull him out here, as you can see. So yeah, so here's a really nice close look at Kang and his design. Again, a lot of nice colors in terms of the purple and the green, right? You can see here there is some shading in the purple, which is really good. I really like the green robe. In terms of articulation, he does move up and down for his head, nice side to side as well. His up and down does not move as much. There's some limitation in that, mostly because of the sort of like that neck mold around the top piece there. Now, sort of looking at him laterally, it doesn't go all the way up to a full T. That's also because it looks like it's maybe resisting because of the robe. And as you move his actual arms up and down, the robe again restricts his arms from fully moving, right? So it's just one thing to note that because his robe looks like a V, it does restrict some movement at the top part of his arms there. The actual bending of the elbows or the arms at the elbows work well. Rotation of the hands too, especially since it completely allows you to interchange hands. Not too bad. There is no ab crunch, as you can see here, which is a big problem still. It's solid, right? There's no ab crunch there. Knees, joints move pretty well. Ankles are forward and back somewhat okay. Not much movement there again, just like his torso area, right? So it's very limited in the range of motion. And that's more because he isn't really meant for action poses as much, right? Now trying to get his legs up to the 90-degree mark, you can see here that it doesn't move as well, right? Now you can force it through and actually move. Let me check here at the bottom of his robe up and then get his legs to the 90-degree mark, right? Again, it's there's some restriction because of his actual outfit and the robe itself, so it prevents a lot of some articulation. But again, it's mostly because he's a bad dude and you don't really need him in action poses, more dominant poses, right? You also have some pretty decent side rotation rather at the waist level, and movement from left to right, so not too bad overall, but not the best. Now moving on to his weapon and head accessories that come with Kang the Conqueror. Here we have his two-handed time blaster, right? It's a really good mold of his blaster that we've seen from the comics, right? I really like the standard gray coloring that you see here. A lot of good details from the looks like pneumatics on the front there. and the stock itself, as well as the wiring. There is a little paint application in pink that's kind of missed here, but kind of bleeds over. It's very small, so nothing bad there. But the overall design of this weapon looks great, in my opinion. Right now, moving on to the different hand molds that comes with him. Right, comes with two different pairs, but there's three in total here. Right, so the first one we'll take a kind of quick look at is his left trigger hand, right hand mold. So here he's able to hold a weapon and be in a pose where he is firing it. Right, the other pair here is his left and his right hand molds. Right, so this hand is more for it's more like a dynamic pose, but not really action pose where he's holding a weapon and firing it. Right, so you can use these hands for a different sort of variety of poses, but less about holding a weapon. Right, now moving on to his other single hand blaster. Right, this one has a nice little paint application in the front here. A lot of small details, not as intricate obviously as his two-handed blaster, which I like a lot more, but there is some nice details here that you're able to see, and a nice matching pink color as well. This is the again the blast effect for the two-handed blaster. Right, so what's good here is the effect looks pretty good. Again, I like the matching pink between a lot of all his weapon accessories, but it looks pretty good translucent wise. Right, and you just plop it on here and it looks pretty good overall. Has a nice dynamic effect to it, so it makes it look like it's more static, I'm sorry, more action, right, based, and especially when he's holding, so it's really good addition there. Now looking at the two additional head sculpts, the Council of Kang head sculpts that he comes with. Again, I'm not too familiar with his background in terms of which variants these are, but these are sculpts from different variants of Kang. This one you see here is his green version, right? And the next one here is a little spooky. Looks like, again, the dude from Clockwork Orange, but some very, very nice details here overall. So generally speaking, Kang looks great overall. He does lack a lot in the articulation department because, again, he's more of a dominant bad dude and doesn't really have a lot of action poses. So you can see here, I kind of set him to be sitting in his chair so that he's already in this pose, and you kind of see what it looks like, right, in terms of his articulation. There are different options that you can do in terms of his hands, what he can wear for his head sculpts and weaponry. But here's some shots of what it looks like sitting in this chair, and being rotated around from left to right in a 360-degree view, right? So overall, again, he does lack a lot of articulation, but the actual details on the figure himself look awesome, and the chair and the accessories that it comes with are just amazing, right? This is a really good set to kind of put together so far from what we have. So there you have it, folks, and thanks for joining me today as we took a look at the new Kang the Conqueror figure from Marvel Legends. He is available now at $59.99 from Hasbro Pulse and is shipping today. So feel free to grab him when you can. And yeah, great figure overall, in my opinion. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more content on the coolest superhero collectibles around. Until next time, folks, keep on collecting.